Yeah.
Vainglorious Vanguard.
Knowledge born.
Yeah.
United Front.
Tell it.
What you want.
To the Knowledge Radio.
We in here. What you got? Dot.
Work hard as a slave to one day be your savior. The wave unwavering. This is a labor of love. Rise with a purpose every day. Invigorated. If we were on TV, we'd be 10 times syndicated. If we waited for validation, a paycheck or accolades, we'd be starved, already lost or ran away. But when you're square, solid, and your circle too, you don't need a place for silence. The concept is conquered through media, not areas of people activity. A mix that don't lose ethnicity, tightness that don't lose the elasticity. Explicitly, this isn't where we get the novice regard. Nah, this is where knowledge is born. Last time that I checked, I'm undefeated. Deliver edicts, can't resist when the gods build and manifest freedom. When lines get crossed, they may push a loss, cause they get handed a check. We kick the can and cancel your cancerous gestures. A prophet vision, precision, the prescription for the sickness is to inoculate your fate with the winning. Arrogant beginners turn to humble endings. And US with KBA is a win-win. 1K.
Welcome to Metro Focus. I'm Jack Ford. Bensonhurst, Brooklyn, 1989. For many, it conjures memories of one of the most painful racial incidents in New York City's history, the killing of 16-year-old Yusuf Hawkins. Hawkins, a black teen, was set upon by a white mob and fatally shot. His cold-blooded murder horrified the city and the entire country, setting off months of protest marches and paving the way for the election of New York's first black mayor, David Dinkins. The name Bensonhurst became a national symbol of hate. But in the 30 years since Hawkins' death, the once heavily Italian neighborhood has been diversified. Seeking to find out how the tragedy is remembered today, the news outlet The City traveled to Bensonhurst to investigate. And journalist Clifford Michelle is here with his findings. Clifford, nice to have you here with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Let's set the stage for our viewers here. 30 years ago, I remembered I was just starting in television news. As a matter of fact, I was working as a legal analyst for Channel 2 News here in New York City. Yeah. So I remember the story, but just give us a sense of how this all played out as a backdrop to your investigation and our conversation.
Yeah, so on August 23rd, 1989, Yusuf Hawkins and three of his buddies got out of the N train on 20th Avenue, and he was just looking to buy a used 1982 Pontiac. And almost immediately after, he was engulfed, surrounded by these white teenagers who several of them had baseball bats, golf clubs, and just within a few blocks, they had surrounded him, and the gunman, Joseph Fama, shot him twice in the chest.
Talk about what the Bensonhurst neighborhood was like then. Its complexion, if you will, its composition 30 years ago.
So it was a predominantly white, working class Italian neighborhood. Pizzerias everywhere, and just a majority homeowner neighborhood as well. And the complexion of that neighborhood has changed intensely since then. But back then, only 3 days after
Yeah. Now we gonna tell them. That in front. We tell them like this, yo. I'm an African. I'm a African. I'm a African. I'm a African. Yeah, y'all like that? So no more. This man's mind is open. I'm a African. I'm a African. I'm a African. I'm a. Let's get
And
back
that
to
motive
the
is
gritty
best developed by recognizing the common enemy.
Knowledge bomb. What's the science, baby?
Peace and Black Power family. Welcome to another episode of Knowledge One with the Science After Midnight Edition. Got booted before I even got started out here. It's all good. It's all good. Here to pay homage and ode to our ancestor Yusuf Hawkins. We'll talk about that and a couple other things, but we're going to keep it light for the most part. We missed Jizza, the genius, that was on yesterday. And Baba Dr. Issa Hilliard, peace be upon him, his born. So it's a lot going on with this connection right now. It's craziness. So I'm going to skip my admin and just let this conversation flow. Let's bring in the reason for the season. Wouldn't be after midnight without her, our warrior sister. Sass, a.k.a. Nwa Wanga.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Can it be heard?
What you name?
Shalom. Hi.
What's good? Shalom.
Allergies, that's it.
Oh.
But I'm okay.
I'm alright, but my internet connection ain't. I guess I guess they don't want to hear about Yusef Hawkins. You know what
I
I'm
saw.
saying?
I saw. Yeah.
I had the video playing.
You did? Oh, I didn't.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah,
didn't
they
see.
booted. Yeah, they booted me off, and then it was like a long pause. Then my internet went out. Then it came back in. I was talking again. Then it went out again. Like it was
Oh,
crazy. It was crazy, crazy, crazy like that glow. I'm not surprised though. So, yeah, Yusuf Hawkins, peace be upon him. 31 years later, the day after Huey P. Newton was killed. West Coast, Oakland, East Coast, Brooklyn. A day apart. Not even 24 hours different. The story was he was going to Bensonhurst to buy a Pontiac. 86 Pontiac. It's an 89. Got off the train like somebody was tracking him. Him and his friends went out there. It was like 4 deep. They got off the train. A whole block had ran down on him. I remember hearing that on the news, like I heard Dr. Huey Newton on the news that same year, days apart. And I remember the clip that they played because it wasn't a long situation. It was just like a little clip. And it was very disrespectful with their language. So when we start talking about people that was heralded versus people that was hated, you see the difference and how the narrative is painted after they check up out of here. And the disrespectful shit that they tied to Yusuf Hawkins said it was it said one of the most vicious crimes in Brooklyn or in New York history. You see how clever this devil is with language. One black death, you know, orchestrated. I guess they forgot the history of New York. A white mob. So, I don't know. Did you have something you wanted to say on it?
what was the last thing you said?
I said a white mob. That's what they called it in the newspaper. I was looking at some articles and looking at how it was reported. White mob kills black. That was the headline. Not a name. Not a name. Not a person. Not a human. A black. That's the headline.
What was that? 1989.
No. Yeah.
All right. So what happened? All right, 1989. Um, uh, Do the Right Thing came out.
Yep. Yep.
And it kind of like it showed you the Italian in there. Those Italians.
Right.
Okay. If you don't know anything about Brooklyn, you probably won't understand, but it's segregated. Um, Just like how Newark is, right? Just like how LA is segregated. I mean, like I said, they push this false narrative that everybody's the same, everybody's equal, that, you know, we're all the same, we're all American and everything, when we know it's not true, because it's a country full of immigrants and us. They come from somewhere, and they have their own ways. Okay, I'm glad that I understand this, and I know how this works. Okay, and understand that nobody's going to change what their ancestors, you know, passed down to them. You know, and I think, like, for us, we don't really understand it because we don't have anything that's passed down like that. Like, a lot of us don't know anything about our past, you know, except for slavery, right? Chattel slave. That's it. So, you know, so we thinking, okay, all right, we can, you know, we can get some sort of equality in this place or whatever. And this could be something good and new for us, but nobody's trying to do anything new. Okay, it's not. No, they already have a culture that is established, that no one can touch. Nobody from the outside can touch. Okay, Bensonhurst. I wouldn't go to Bensonhurst.
Right.
I wouldn't. So I'm not sure why he look. A lot of things that I read said that they suspected him. Those people expected him. He was dating one of their own. That's what I've been reading. I don't know what happened, but
yeah.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So look. So, I mean, they knew he was coming. He must have been going there often, right? Because they knew he was coming. They said they had this was a setup from the way it reads. Okay. And it was a lot of them. So this was like, you know, we can't have this outsider coming into our neighborhood doing it how he wanted to. We're gonna deal with this.
That's real.
And we're willing to go to jail for this. So, you know what I'm saying? I mean, look, I understand. And this is something that Black people, we have to understand when it comes to us. Same thing works for us. Same thing works for everyone else. You can't just go into someone's and expect them to accept you. It's not going to happen. I don't care what the United States of America says. You know, the government says, what liberals say, everybody should have this right. Everybody should have that. Yeah, should. But will they? Is it going to happen? No.
That everybody is them. It's not
right.
Everybody. That's them. That's what they mean. All of them.
Right. So, no, I mean, listen, everybody has a cultural bias to themselves. That's a natural thing. It is a righteous thing. Okay. So, you know,
that makes them look righteous. That makes them look righteous, like they was defending their neighborhood. Because they could say thug, they could say criminal, whatever the case. You understand? Like they do this, they've done this shit historically in America, and this was always the reason. You know, something whistling at some white bitch, whatever it was, dating some white bitch, whatever the fuck it was. You see what I'm saying? Whether it's factual or not, it don't even matter. Because they look like a great crusade that's going to be justified. You know, this is a month after Do the Right Thing comes out. Like almost a month to the day. You know. You know, you got the 21st, that's George Jackson. The 22nd, Huey Newton. The next day, Yusuf Hawkins. So a month would be, you know, George Jackson. And that ritualized killing of Radio Raheem, don't he look like Radio Raheem?
Yes.
Don't he look like Big Daddy Kane? You understand what I'm saying? Like, so if you look at that mind frame of Radio Raheem, Big Daddy Kane, hip hop music, they called that shit jungle music right there in Do the Right Thing.
They did. They sure did. Yep.
So,
they don't want to hear that.
all of it, all together, whether it was Italians or Jews, or both, or Irish, all that shit could go down right there. And when they killed Radio, the ritual killing in the movie, you know, basically like the killing of the king, you saw everybody from their particular section start shouting out names. You know, I don't know if Bumpus, Howard Beach. You see what I'm saying? Like all of these instances that took place It was supposed to be like a political statement, but look at what's done nowadays. Everybody is still naming names and naming instances.
Yep.
You know, ritualized over and over and over, like all of these things happening. You see, so like it's a couple of sections of Brooklyn. You know, certain things wouldn't have went down in certain places. So this is, you know, for me, and I didn't want to cut into what you were saying, um, but these things happen just like that. You know, if you was in the Jewish neighborhood, the Italian neighborhood, if you was, you know, shit, like it's too much. But you know, just to look at him, 16 years old, he didn't look 16. Not to nobody who see you as a threat, as a criminal, as an enemy. So you know, all these things come together. So I don't want us to look at it like it's an outside isolated incident. When you look at it in focus and view, you see this whole entire thing. I don't want anybody to miss any parts.
Um, that we used to have that thing where people could just outsiders could just come up into our hood. Like we used to have that, and that was something that the the uh, the outsiders, the enemies, would put on us, saying you can't go to a black neighborhood, you'll get robbed, and this and that, you'll get beat up, possibly lose your life or whatever. It used to be like that, but that has since changed. Um, I'm not sure when, but that has since changed. I know in like some neighborhoods they'll say, well, like in Chicago, that hasn't changed. It hasn't changed in some places in LA or whatever. But I mean, for the most part, it has. Um, there's white people all over Chicago, right? From what I know, I'm not too sure about that, but from what I hear people, speaking and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, look, I won't go into Crown Heights because first of all, I don't even want to deal with those people and even look at them. I don't want nothing to do with them. I don't want to be near them, But this is just something that, I'm thinking that he was warned. To be honest, I don't know what story is true. Which one is true? He was going to buy a car, or was he dating an Italian girl? I don't even know which one.
The real reports is he was going to go buy a car.
That's what they said.
But they what you call that? They control the narrative on the story.
Right.
You know.
Right. So I mean,
let's go back to with black men, Ku Klux Klan. What was their purpose? These are all linked together. It's not separate. You
right.
know? Mm-hmm. So the rise in the Ku Klux Klan was for, saying that black men was going to come rape white women. Like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like this was their selling point. And then you look at this other, the Tulsa race riots. What happened with that? A bump in the elevator because the elevator stalled. That was the excuse to set off the Tulsa race riots, right? Mm-hmm. Emmett Till's death, whistling at a cracker bar. You understand what I'm saying? Like all these things all together become these kinds of narratives where action must be taken. Mo Better Blues came out after that. It's the 80s Reaganomics. You know what I'm saying? Like the 80s Reaganomics. And following a tumultuous history, we gotta look. Like we can't just be playing around. This is Iran-Contra heavy situation. We can't just be looking at this. Wasn't Jesse Jackson running for president?
Yeah.
He was running with Farrakhan. He called the Jews a certain kind of damn name. You see what I'm saying? Like these are all what's going through and flowing through the psyche of a mob mentality all together, and how historically these things happen and line up and sync up right with it. Nothing is by nothing is by mistake. All these things are ritualized.
Um, I don't know, but it just all right. So we don't even know what the story was, but even still, just going by how the street works. Um, like I said, I don't even know why he even chose to go. Like I mean, during that time, especially with everything that was happening. I mean, the movie brought it out. You said it was a month after, but it shows you the racial tension that was going on at the time. So, I mean, even without the movie, you understood that to be true in New York. I'm talking about New York City. Um, Look, it just confused me. It confused me, that whole the whole story, because I was young. I was young when that happened. I didn't do any research when it came out, but like looking at stories now and looking at how this ends, 30 years later or whatever, that fool about to come home in about another year or so. Who killed Yusef Hawkins? So it's unfortunate, but I mean we need to learn from the past, um, and understand that you can't. Look. I mean, land of the free is who is that for? It's just not for us. I mean, even going around in this country, you got to be careful being black, and everybody would tell you that. Black nomads will tell you that we can't just go anywhere. I follow a few black nomads, um, who move around in this country, and you can't even, because it's territorial, and people are just not dealing with other people. When it comes to, I guess when it comes to anyone, actually, they're not dealing with anybody. I don't know. Maybe they feel like it's a somebody is what do you call that? The word. Yeah, maybe they're feeling violated when somebody comes into their neighborhood. It's like a violation, which it is. I truly believe that for the black community, all cops should be black, just like how in Chinatown all cops are Chinese, and in Little Italy you see Chinese. Like, I mean, Little Italy is like smack in the middle of Chinatown in New York City, but you don't see no Chinese people going up down that street in Little Italy. You don't see it. Chinese cops nowhere. You see Italian cops. Um, when you go to Crown Heights, you don't see the police at all, but they're there. They're all Jews. Bensonhurst, same thing. The cops hang out. You see them. They're on borders. You'll see them when you come. I mean, you're getting sized up. You go. You enter into that. I don't go to any place like that. I went to Bay Ridge once, and oh my God, I mean, blatant racism. Like, I mean, it was not even like, they don't even try to hide it. You go into their bookstores, you go into their stores. It's like, I'm like, let me get the hell out of here. This is crazy. but but yeah, um, we have to learn from our mistakes. I mean, if I was his mother, if I was his sister, I would have said, Bensonhurst, find a car somewhere else. And definitely not messing with, their women. Because around that time, it was really bad around that time. And then you see in the 90s with Jungle Fever, I mean, the problem is still there. So this is nothing new to us. Just because a few get away with that interracial marriage thing doesn't mean it's accepted across the board. It's just not. And why I condemn it is that it's detrimental to our survival as a people. It only makes us weaker. It only makes us weaker. You already, as a parent, have you lose a lot of what you put into your children. That once they become an adult, they start going their own way. You get lucky with maybe that one, or maybe that two that will actually be like you. So you know, if you have a strong Black family base, they will probably have more of a chance of keeping everything Black. We have no tolerance for anybody on the outside, because we know who they really are, and they show themselves. They tell us, why would you want that bloodline to mix? Why would you want to mix with that? Of people that hate you. You know, I just don't get that. And they understand that when their people go astray, that they become weaker. They understand that. I mean, that's just like, I would say, common sense. And that rebellious spirit, it breaks up families and peoples, you know, because you got those who go off and try to make it right when we know it's not right. Only in the eyes of that false narrative that America gives you, you know, will tell you that it is right. You know, it's okay for mixing, and you know, everybody's all the same, and blah blah blah, and this and that, whatever. You know, that is what you're propagating. That lie. It's a straight up lie. But you know, like we said, like the last stream we had, you know, some people just thrive off of lies, living off of, you know, they love to be lied to. But I'm here to tell you the truth. It's never did anything good for the Black community. Mixing with those people in any kind of way, politically, relationship wise, whatever, personally, it just never, nothing has never come out of it good, ever. Show me where it was a good thing, ever a good thing for us to you know, be dealing with this white man. And let me tell you something, Italians and Jews and they all white people. Chinese people, they all white people. If they're not Black and their ancestors are not from Africa, because we all know that Black Americans, you know, they were taken from Africa and brought over here. I know people will go as far as say we were already all over the planet. That's nice and all well, but I'm talking about Black people here. Black people who ancestors are who were slaves through the transatlantic slave trade. And that's what I'm referring to. So yeah, and that's all I want to say for now. But you know, you want to add something to that? I know. Look, I'm not heartless, and I just want to say that I'm not heartless. I just understand these concepts very well, you know. And we need to stop traveling alone. We need to stop doing that. That's one of the things that we lost as well. We individuals now. We just go wherever we want alone, and no, that's got to stop, because the enemy don't fight fair, and that's that.
Shout out to Real Hip Hop 216. Peace to you. Yeah, I don't know how many times you got to go on this way to learn this lesson. As you can see, they don't really want me to convey nothing tonight. it's more than usual in regards to these types of disturbances. A 16-year-old boy, because when they show um, their killers, because that's normally when they're showing them killing somebody, they refer to them as children. And when they kill our children, they refer to them as young men or men. Now, boys, there's no innocence in our youth. And if we looked at like the black child crimes, like the killing of these, or the public lynching, or both, you'd be surprised to find out what it was and how these things are reported. And then how they go after the reputation, how they go after the families, all of that, all systematic. This media tool is improper propaganda. This internet is a psychological, military, psychological operations tool, a data mining tool, a
Intel.
from right, and from a capitalist perspective, this is a damn marketing tool that's used
Right.
to track everything you do, your searches, all of that, to build up a psychological profile for consumer spending habits. So this is where these suggestions come from. If you hear the word suggestion and you don't bring that back to psychological, you tripping. A hypnotic suggestion. And this is one of the reasons why they started to incorporate music, particularly hip hop music, into the selling of the things that's most detrimental to us. They sell us everything, you know. They steal it, repackage it, and sell it back to us. They buy it for a tenth, and they sell it for 100,000% worth of its value. I don't know if this was the same year, but you remember in the 80s when the dude came into the McDonald's and he rapped the whole menu? Remember that commercial?
No, I remember Calvin, but
That's another one,
oh,
right?
oh.
That's another one. That's another one, right? You see that?
Yeah.
But this dude had an order. He rapped everything off of the menu. This is when corporations saw fit to show rap as a viable option. So they did their whole rapping situation in regards to this music they was banning and outlawing and say it will only be around 10 years, da 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 da. And you look from 73 to 89, hip hop was the same age as Yusuf Hawkins. 16 years old. It was young, it was wild, it was crazy, it was promoting drugs, it was promoting partying. When it came to like around 86, 87, that time frame, hip hop started to remember its value and its uh, role. So hip hop became conscious of itself and started to move in that direction. Public Enemy is out with Fight the Power in the same year. All of it works. And it all shows. Like, that's bug to know that hip hop and Yusuf Hawkins was the same age. 16. I think Emmett Till was 14 or 15. Some say 16. Around the same age. Off the N train. Last ride on the subway. And 10 years after the Warriors, that shit should have told you something. Not too long after The Last Dragon. I wonder when Rocky 3 was out. Because I know like Rocky 1 was in like 79.
78.
78? Was Rocky
Yeah,
1 was 78?
was Rocky 1, yeah. I'm sorry, Rocky was 76.
Damn.
1982, Rocky 3.
Oh yeah. When was Eddie Murphy's, what was it? Raw? Delirious? Which one was
Was that 80? Well, wait a minute. 1987. I knew that. That's old. Yeah, 87 Raw.
Which one was it? Raw? Shit. Look at the connection.
Mm-hmm.
You know, look at the connection. You know, the Italians, the Rocky, like, you know, all that shit. Like, it was crazy. It's crazy than a motherfucker. Like, you can't make this shit up. You just kind of look at it and see what it is. But that Big Daddy Kane connection, that Rakim connection, you know, right around that time when hip hop grew conscious of itself and started to empower and inform, not just report, because the message was a report, you know, but like raising awareness and inform. Apartheid, you know, like all kind of stuff hip hop started to tackle. Because these are formative years when you start to make a decision. Lord Bobby Hutton was the same age when he joined the Black Panther Party for self-defense. A year later, he was killed. So when we was talking about history, looking at it in that infinite loop, we can garner all of these things. But if we look at it in Chronos, like, what's the connection between this and this? Everything. Everything. He was shot. This emerges a character out of New York, Harlem to be exact, that's bulletproof. Yeah.
Even in Philadelphia, it's segregated. I just wanted to add that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. There's no place where there's some commingling going on.
Right. Thank you. I mean, who's turning a blind eye to that and saying we're moving towards change? No, the streets are not changing. Nobody's changing. That is the lie that I'm talking about. That is a straight up lie. That's something they want, that they hope and they want for, but it's just nobody's trying to give up, you know, their ancestral heritage to become some sort of American or whatever, some co-mingle. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody knows that that mingling is not a good thing. It's not a good thing. They're trying to make it a good thing. It's not. It isn't. Nowhere can you find it. That's a good thing. And I kind of see that as um, something that causes that irritates. You know what I'm saying? That kind of causes these issues to come about. And it's kind of like selfishness. I'll call it selfishness. Like, we have a black person in our community. One of us say, "Oh, well, I'm in love with that white woman over there. I'm going to marry whatever," knowing it's going to cause problems between the two. You know what I'm saying? To the two communities. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
What do you do with a person like that?
Kill
You know,
them.
that's what I'm saying. It is nothing. I mean, it irritates. It causes irritation. It causes problems. It just does. Oh, it shouldn't. It does. In real life, it does. So go ahead and ignore it and watch your people get slaughtered. And we see this in the movie Troy, and they all white people in the movie. Okay.
Right.
Okay. All right. There was no black people anywhere. So just look at that movie for sorts. Okay, and how deep it go. Oh, no, he stole his wife. No. This was a whole different type of people coming for this other type of people. That's war. Okay, and they see that as you coming for their people. This is what we don't understand. That's the concept that we don't understand.
Look at what movie comes out December 25th, 1990.
I'm going to talk about that Rocky too. But what movie comes out?
Godfather 3.
Okay. Every time I try to get out, they pull me back in.
Look, they got you rooting for Italians on the screen,
Yep.
and they killing you in the streets.
Right.
That's not by accident.
I told you, black people love those movies. I'm telling you. They idolize the Dons.
Right.
Nas calls himself a Don. Ouch, right?
Right.
We got to stop this.
Predator comes out in 1987.
Uh-oh. I told you whose side I was on.
Predator comes out in 1987. You see that?
Mm-hmm. This white man taking out extraterrestrials with machine guns.
Black men.
Yeah, well, yeah, if you want to look at it like that, yes, there you go. The movie didn't portray it that way, but if we need to see deeper, we can go there.
Carl Weathers is in the movie. That's Apollo.
Yes,
he died.
Yes, he died. Oh, what's his name? My boy.
Bill Duke is in the movie.
Mr. Duke. That's right. That's right.
See what I'm saying?
That's right. That's what I'm saying. This white man single-handedly took out extraterrestrials with a machine gun.
Black dude. Actually, it was a young black dude.
Who played what?
Who he's killing. He comes to Earth for his rites of passage.
Okay.
To engage in this type of combat. This is when they came to collect his body, his elders. This is a whole society. They can't show us like that.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Unless they're taking us. You only see this in Roots, right? This is in the 70s. Like, you only see this rites of passage initiatory ceremony once, and then after that, everybody's taken. See that? So, Predator shows the predator killing them before they get grown.
Mm-hmm.
He becomes the governor. Stanley Tookie Williams is on death row. He could pardon him. He ensured that he dies. So he kills the predator in the movie and in real life. in comes the Clintons and Biden and all these motherfuckers that everybody's rooting for with these.
1991. 1991.
Oh shit!
So you have all this leading up until what 1989, and then and then 90, 91, and you got that fool calling us. They come up with some crime bill saying that we are. What was the word he used? He called us. I forgot what he called. We're mentally unstable people that need to be locked up. That's what he said. That's your Joe Biden right there. That black people pushing vote. What man? That's a big mistake.
You hear that Clinton on the road on the presidential campaign trail as governor of Arkansas, shut down all operations on his campaign trail for president to see a mentally challenged black man get executed. And then he got back on the road.
Right. There you go. Boop.
All of this shit works together. All of it. You still looking for a friend. You still looking for an ally.
Whose fault it is for our lack of knowledge, for our ignorance? Because if I talk to a lot of people, even in my family and stuff, and I bring these facts to the table, it's like and you don't. There's no response for it. There's no. Oh really? He did that?
Right.
Whose fault is it at the end of the day?
It's on us.
That's right.
We're not responsible, but it's on us.
Right.
The first 3 E's on that first tier, because this is how you get indoctrinated to everything else. And this is how you indoctrinate to everything else. When you look at entertainment, economics, and education, you can switch those interchangeably. You can say education, economics, and entertainment. You can say economics, entertainment, and education. They all have the same kind of resonance within the society on the lowest rung of the tier of the 9 major areas of people activity. So when you look at those 3, this is why they're so pivotal. And this is how we are in regards to those 3 things right there. This is how our people are ruled.
Black
Miseducated, yeah.
Black
Miseducated.
Yes, but we're looking for a savior.
Yeah, buy into it. Right. This is you're educated this way. You're educated to look for a savior.
Yeah, we're looking for a savior.
Right. So you come into an economic situation of depravity, right? And then you're easily entertained. Easily led in the wrong direction, hard to be led in the right.
They profit off of our ignorance, right?
Right. Off of our dissatisfaction. Off our dissatisfaction. And the ability to equip and outfit a few to take care of us all. They do it in education, they do it in economics, they do it in entertainment. So they do it. And they draw it up in the fine mist that was the neck of the heart of that tech. You see what I'm saying? So real artful. Like you could look. You swear you was looking and you ain't see it. Magicians call that prestidigitation, sleight of hand.
That is what I was about to say to you. I'm glad you said that, because I was about to say what I don't understand is that they do understand the white man does not have the best intentions for them yet they roll when they rock with them. Anyway, like, vote, Biden this and that, Democrat that, this and that, and looking for a savior.
Right.
Looking for someone to save us from what exactly? Like, what do you, like, that's what I want to know. What are you looking for exactly? What can this particular person do for all of us when it comes to the Black community? I don't get any answers. They don't know. It just programmed to do that. Ask any Ask any smart black person. I'm gonna use that, that's smart, like, ask any one of them, any smart, even the scholars in it, they can't tell you. This is just something that we do because our ancestors died for the right for us to vote, which they didn't. Like you said, they were killed. Okay, they were threatened. If you don't vote this way, we're going to continue to burn your houses down, your churches. See, people forget about those things in the early 1900s. People forget about, like, or they just don't know. Or they're not you. They don't have the same history as you. So you need to start asking questions and examine. You know what I'm saying? Find out who these black people are, who's talking this nonsense, because we may not have the same commonalities. And that's what makes us black. Okay? That is what makes us black people. So, it's like beating a dead horse around here. We know better. It's, look, I do my best, my due diligence with my family, with my friends, and all these other people around here, and they just, if I can just get one, what I'm saying, I'm happy. That's what I'm saying. I'm gonna try to stay optimistic, but look, are we doomed to what? Are we doomed? Because I think that, we're doomed as far as I'm concerned. It's going to always be the same thing. Nothing's going to get better because we're not changing the way we're not going back to, but it's right in your face, though. You have to, what was Malcolm X said, you have to, learn everything that you've been taught. That's I remember him saying something like you have to start from scratch. But a lot of us not willing to do that. Scriptures say, woe to those who trust in man. Like, what I'm saying? And then we talking about this, the man, okay? So nothing good comes out of that. Woe means that you're doomed. You do that, you're doomed. But you bring up a good point. That's, trying to analyze that. But then again, we have our elders who explain it to us.
Right.
Okay, we understand. Psychology. Bobby E. Wright, right? He explains to us what that is. Okay, and then just like the books that I read from, they even listed Marcus Garvey saying the same things. He even they even quoted Baba Baruti in there, and the Hares, and Dell, and all of those, and he goes on and on. The book is great. Okay, it's great. He goes in to show you a group of black people who we hold to a high standard and a revere. Our ancestors are no longer here, and this is what they said. And then you see these people over here, black people over here who have a lot of respect for these groups of people that he was talking about, but don't what's the word? They don't take the wisdom out of anything they say. It's just a name. Oh, he was our great ancestor. He said he did this, he did that, whatever. Not taking that knowledge or those instructions and applying it to today, to their lives. They're not doing that. It's one thing to bring up the ancestors and speak about them and hold them to a high standard, but yet you're not, you're not doing them any service. You're not. Would they be happy with what you're doing today? No, not any of them. No. And Baba Baruti is alive, okay, and well, okay.
Right.
So I don't want to hear anybody say his name and y'all not speaking the way he's. I don't want to hear it. If you don't utter Marcus Garvey's name, don't do it. Don't do it. I'm gonna be on you like white on rice, okay? Don't do it. Don't do it. My hero is Dr. Julia Hare. Okay, she's been my hero for years and years and years and years, even before I even started talking like this. She's been in my picture is in my journal. that's my altar. My journal is my altar. Okay, it's in there. It's been in there for years and years and years, along with what I would say, Grace Jones. Because black women, you're beautiful. Black skin is beautiful. Kinky hair is beautiful.
That's right.
Being in shape and being warrior like is beautiful. Okay, it saves the nation. It helps. Okay, and then we have you know, uh, Pam Grier, right? Don't get it twisted, okay? That lady soft in the face, but she take you out. You know, in those movies or whatever, okay, that they try to call black exploitation. No, 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 no. Weapons of mass destruction, okay? That's when I see. That's what I see when I see those movies, okay? And Malcolm is in there, and Booker T. Washington is in there. That's who's on my altar, okay?
That's
Along with
right.
my family members as well. So I'm just, don't say Marcus Garvey's name. Don't say it. Don't say it if you're not speaking like him. I'm sorry.
On that Turner. Yeah.
Or
Definitely
Nat
don't.
Turner or any of them. I
Yeah,
don't
please don't.
want to hear no names. None. Because they do it, right?
Yeah,
They do it.
they'll do it in a heartbeat. They'll do it in a heartbeat. Like they'll do it to win an argument. They'll do it to win a debate. They'll do it to shield their dirty religion, whatever the case may be.
Yeah, and try to make it seem like the ancestor was actually would actually support them and what they no, I will not have you lie.
That's all right. October, we're gonna deal with that. October, we're gonna deal with that. October, if they can stand the heat of the flames that's going, in the words of Dr. Khaled Abdul Muhammad, peace be upon him. If they could withstand those flames that I'm going to put under these ashes of these sellouts, these rats, these snakes, these snitches, and everybody else, I think they will reevaluate who they align themselves with. Real Hip Hop 216, yes, I can see your comments. I see your comments, Street. So yeah, a lot of miscreants running around. And people still herald them today. It's Negroes that told the world they had 6 months to live 3 years ago, and their asses ain't dead yet. They were crying for your support, and you just get docile Negroes that be like, oh, let's support him or her, and da 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 da. Like they deserve death. Like they deserve like a whole bunch of death. Like not just one death.
Not just one.
Yeah.
1,000 deaths. You ever heard of 1,000 deaths? I wish you 1,000 deaths.
Right. What was that movie? Damn, what was that movie? I think it was Man on Fire. Did we ever talk about Man on Fire?
Nah.
I think we did like a little glimpse into the joint.
I don't remember. That was the one with a little girl, right?
Yeah.
He was a drunk and blah blah blah. Yeah.
Right. Like they tried to make it look like it was for the white girl. It had nothing to do with it. Like you had to see him in his element. Like he had to be a reminder. That was just a catalyst.
Mm-hmm.
What did he tell the dude? I think he said, my only regret is that I only get to do this to you one time. That's what he said. This is what he said to him. This is supposed to be, the chief of police, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Took him out in this convoy with the ambush method. George Lester Jackson, ambush. Boom, right in the convoy. Caught him in this convoy.
Mm-hmm.
And had him straddled over the hood of the car with a bomb up his ass. And he said, oh, give me something. He said, what you want? While he's taking the gloves off, he shoved this bomb up his ass. You understand? But so, like, there ain't no love for your enemy, right? So he's telling her, oh, give me a last wish. He said, you want a last wish? I wish you had more time. He didn't let him go. There was no quarter. There was no compromise. This is what it was. He said, I wish you had more time. And he said it to waste some time. He said, you want last wish? Okay. I wish you had more time. And I don't even know if that's the movie, but that's the mind frame. He's like, just it might have been Equalizer or Equalizer 2 or something like that. I know Denzel said it though.
Mm-hmm.
So he told him, my only regret is that I can only do this to you once. That's real. That's righteous rage right there.
Yep.
One time. So, yeah. They ain't like this. They ain't like this Zella Trading Day. Man. I love this Zella Trading Day. You know, he showed them what's supposed to be done to pedophile. He said, that's your MO. You like to rape young girls, right? And he gave him that decision. He said, I'll let you keep one nut. He said, you're lucky I ain't have more pressing business. This is what he told the pedophile. Lucky I ain't have more pressing business. Look, I'm telling like they want to see us in a docile, forgiving, compromising manner. They don't want to see you in your glory, dispensing justice. And it looked real serious for a second, and then he said, damn, I'm thirsty. I need a beer. right out of it, like nothing. You see what I'm saying? So this just shows you, your enemy, he ain't have no clue what it was. But he got white real quick on his ass though. Playing docile, playing meat.
A lot of people don't know what justice is. That's number one. Number one, if you don't know what justice is, then you're gonna push that docile thing. There's black people running around talking about we Africans were docile. They were docile people. We know it wasn't. Man, look, read them French papers. The French give it to you. All right. Now the English, they got too much pride. Okay, they ain't gonna tell you that. But read those French papers. They'll tell you. People choose to, instead of actually doing some research, they just take one thing. Or, there's some people who are being disingenuous, know the truth, but then teach, what they want to teach. They'll take one thing that one person said and, this fits well with what I should be teaching. I'll teach that instead of teaching it all. So, no. So yeah, we have to know what justice is. Justice is eye for an eye. That's what that is. And I'm not just speaking from those scriptures. Everybody know that. And most of the world, they'll tell you, this amount of people are Christians, and how they know? How they know that? No, most of the planet are not people on the earth are not. No, they're not. No, they're not. Okay. So everybody knows what justice is outside the U.S. I don't know what's going on here. I don't know if it's the Constitution. I don't know if it's the forefathers of this country or whatever. Come with the yin yang, and we're just eating it up. Just take it to the court and whatever we decide, and we'll put the judgment on it. And then, it don't even matter what the judgment is. That's justice. But we know it's not true because when Yusuf Hawkins was killed or whatever, only one of them got a real like got a harsh sentence, which it wasn't harsh. People say 32 years is a lot. No, man, he should have died. He should have been killed. Right? The killer should have been killed.
Right. Easy.
Right? When they found out the rest of them got off, they didn't get as whatever. Black people took to the street because they know that's not justice. But we got Negroes running around here talking about that's justice, the court system, and the rulings. So come on, man, stop. You're contradicting yourselves. Whatever. Y'all know better. I guess common sense ain't that common, right? I guess because that makes no sense. You know that's not they call it the justice system. When it comes to us, there's no justice. If that was the case, we wouldn't be like protesting, doing these walks we're doing, having, these so-called leaders come out and, every time one of ours is slain. So you're a liar if you're telling me that justice is not eye for an eye. Get out of here. If it was an Italian boy and that happened in the hood, in our hood, guess what? Everybody been strung up. Everybody in the so-called black mob, because that's what they would have called it, right? Or whatever they would call it. They will all they will all go down. Everybody. And they'll do a number on their mothers. So come again. What's justice again? What? Getting a lawyer, going to court, and what? Get out of here. America know that's not justice, because guess what? When they go to war, they know what justice is. Let something happen to a American soldier. Everybody getting turned up over wherever we at. Okay, they do that for fun. So they know. They just we're saying one thing, they're doing another thing. We're just taking it, eat it up. This is and these are like college educated people. I said, well, what courses were you taking? And what were you taking in college? Because look, when I went to college and got my my degrees and stuff, I understood completely. They will tell you everything you need to know. I'm like, how come I know this and y'all don't know this? Because they weren't paying attention, or they weren't able to see, and that's the problem. We're not able to see. And we're supposed to be, we are seeing people, right? We are spiritual people, right? Supposedly, right? How come we can't see through the nonsense and the BS? Or is it that we want to fit in? We'll do anything to fit in. Is it that? I wouldn't know, because I don't try to fit in. Everybody know I come with the rah-rah. Everybody know I come with the rah-rah. Everybody I know, everybody that know me knows. We ain't going to her because, she, Pume,
I'm going to bring that Maccabean over here on Monday. We'll see if I can find this raggedy ass. Bring that Maccabean revoltist, Judah Priest. See if I can get his ass on his birthday. He's celebrating now, so he should be available.
The party starts 7 days before, probably a month before now, like a month before
Yeah, so I think Judah Priest, he'll be in the building. If it ain't tomorrow, it'll be sometime this week. Because I'm celebrating all week.
These Leos and Virgos, they party animals, okay?
Yeah. I'm celebrating all week. Next weekend is 5-year anniversary. I said 1,700 episodes, but it's really 18. So 1,800 episodes. I thought I was going to do it like one day, be like 5 years, 1,800 episodes. But fuck that. It's the weekend, the whole weekend, Saturday and Sunday. I should have been in Atlanta. Some shit going on in Atlanta that I need to be at, but I'm not going. Unless they, raise the price, If they raise the price, I might be in Atlanta. Or some intel come back from another job. You know. Atlanta, one of the few cities in the United States you can get a direct flight to Africa. FYI. Go to Africa for the weekend. Go to Africa.
What about over here?
One of the few places.
I
Direct flight.
Yeah.
Over there, there's a European stop, guaranteed.
Oh, okay. Heathrow, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a European stop, which makes that area more dangerous. And you know what I mean by dangerous, because of the European stop. So it's an easier transport.
They want to know who coming through and where they going. That's what that is.
Yeah.
That's what that is. That's a security check by the,
Yeah, that's a 6-hour flight. That's a 6-hour flight to Europe. I think it's like 12 or 18 to the continent. Non-stop. From Atlanta, though.
They say there's no guns in England. That's what they said.
Yeah, I think it's outlawed, like California and New York.
You believe that? I don't believe that.
Nah. In the overworld, yeah, there's a lot of stabbing. A lot of people get stabbed to death. Like no qualms about it. Stabbed to death and beat to death with bats and shit like that. Like, you know how the late 80s, early 90s, because we're talking about this conversation, like, you know, that's like from the 70s up. Chains, bats, sticks, you know.
Who can enforce something like that? They got guns.
I said the overworld, the underworld, they got whatever.
Oh, okay.
The underworld, they got whatever, because that's easy access for anybody on the planet to get to the UK.
Everything goes through them. There's a reason for it, and then they say they have no guns. Listen. Listen.
Watching Snatch.
Look, I ain't trying to get in trouble in England. I'm just saying, you know.
I mean,
because I know better.
If you lethal with a knife or a cane, you don't need a gun.
Look, they don't have no problem with swords. No swords and they're good with that stuff. Absolutely. They need to outlaw the knives and
you get stabbed up like it's a homemade shank from the clink, you know. Cats are surgical with them knives out there. And the cane. Dame Dash got damn near his head knocked off by a fucking cane out there in the UK, laying around.
I seen some cane beatings happening in Africa. I forgot what country it was, but I was laughing at it. It was funny. It was like there was like fathers giving their sons beatings. That's what it looked like.
Oh yeah. You get that cane out there. You're gonna get that. I told you that little stick. That stick show up.
Yeah.
That stick will show up.
That's how it's supposed to be. That's the black father and the black children. Okay. It ain't supposed to be no white man with no stick beating nobody. No, that's not how it go. That's not how it go.
You better be glad it's just him and not the whole tribe on your ass.
You go to another country like Singapore. I heard about them out there. They will cane you. They don't care. Like you're not gonna come into our country and do what you want. See, that's the attitude we're supposed to have. You're not gonna come over here and guess what? We're not gonna go into your community. We're not gonna do it.
Yeah, for all of the cats who say this is our place, we indigenous to the landmass, I can't tell. I can't tell.
I can't tell either.
Because when it's your place, you set the standards.
Right.
You set the rules. You do the adjudication.
What you say goes. Exactly. But people laugh at that.
Yeah.
Sass, what are you talking about? How do we
proof.
control anything? What do you mean? Because we said so. Y'all don't get it?
This should tell you that this ain't your place. You don't control shit. You can't own nothing. We went over that yesterday again.
Yep, can't own nothing.
Yeah. Nope. And everybody here, look, you can't own nothing but black people. You can own black people in a heartbeat.
Right, the product, right.
Everybody that's here on this landmass own black people. While you looking for allies and putting them in your chart. Everybody here, the inhabitants owned you. Everybody. From the immigrants to the so-called aboriginals. They owned you. That's the only thing you can own for sure. You can't own the property or the land, the air rights and water rights, but you could own some black folk. Buy them and sell them. And kill them. With impunity.
You don't own it, you're renting like everybody else.
Yeah.
You renting like everybody. Whether you in a hood or you in some mansion, you renting.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
How you better than anybody else? Like, stop it.
Tell them pay that rent and that mortgage. Pay it. Don't pay it and see what happens.
Yeah, pay the house off and don't pay the taxes. See what happens.
Go ahead and discharge that.
You stop paying your light bill, they turn the light off, right? They turn electricity off.
What they told? What Trinity told that agent in fucking Matrix 1? Dodge this. Shot him in the fucking head. So,
Water's supposed to be free.
They put water in the bottle and charge you for it. They ain't charging you for the water. They charge you for the bottle.
They charge you for the bottle and them chemicals, right? That they say help clean that water and blah blah blah. Yeah, they charge you for that stuff. Oh, and it's it's against God to go and catch your own water. Yeah. Don't do that.
They lock you up for that.
But we free. Yeah.
Freed. Or free?
But we freed, whatever.
Freed.
We let them tell it. We free.
Freed. We were freed. Not like any other nation. We gained our independence. We're freed. Set free from what? Captivity. You had to be in bond service.
Not even that. You buy the land, you have to maintain it a certain way. If you don't, you getting all kinds of citations and all kinds of stuff. I mean, it's a pain in the neck. It's a pain in the neck to own anything, or I'm sorry, I'm using that term loosely. Own,
lease it.
Yeah, leasing or renting anything or whatever. It's a pain in the wazoo. I know. You get citations for all kind of things. It's all paid for, and you will get citations. You will they will lock your house down. They will do whatever they need to do. You are not free.
They say you can't own it.
Yep,
because they don't own it. They leasing it and they subleasing to you.
Right.
That's why.
That's
why.
And they could take it from you if they want to. I think we're gonna put a road right here. Yeah. Your house go bye-bye. We need an essential building here. Your house goes bye-bye. Yeah, that's those are the downsides of owning anything. I'm sorry, not loosely owning, because that's what they call it. We bought a house. No, the house belonged to the bank, and then once you pay it off, then it belonged. It belonged to the bank and to the city, right, and the state and all of that. And then once you pay, then you don't owe the bank no more. But guess what? You got to pay that gangster called the city and the state government. Yeah. You buy a certain car, you got to pay luxury tax. You get a pool, you got to pay luxury tax. I'm like, what? I have a pool. If it's in the ground, you got to pay. Man, do your research before you do anything on their property because it's their property.
Right.
That's why you need building permits and all kinds of things because guess what? They're not going to let you do whatever they want you to do, you know. It's time to sell a house and you did all this stuff. You had no permits. They're going to be asking questions. And you better explain yourself. It's a pain in the neck. It's a pain in the neck. But I guess they said, look, if you're going, like, if you're going to buy this property and you're going to make money off of it, we're going to make money off it too, damn it. You know, that's what it's all about. Oh, and if you do buy a house or a property or something and you know, you make astronomical amounts of money on it, you can't sell it for the first 1, 2, 3 years, or you got to pay all this capital gains tax, all this stuff, you know, all the, you know, they're gonna rob you. How dare you get rich without us? See how that works?
Yep.
Autonomy, what? None. And that's what you're voting for. That's what you're voting for. They put people in places that control what you do and control how much money you getting and where you go and how you live. And nah, man, that's not cool. Oh, and that Rocky movie is just all kinds of racist. I look over it because I like those Rocky movies, but it's all kinds of racist. You know what I'm saying? I mean, brother made a point. He said Mickey's gym was full of Negroes, and then all of a sudden, you know, here come Rocky. You know,
Right.
you know, come on. And we got a black man on top. That's Apollo, right? He on top. But now they got to bring him down. They got to bring him down.
And kill him.
Yep, and kill him. And then Clubber Lang got to bring him down. Got to bring. I mean, it was really that one was real racist. They had a lot to say about Clubber though in the movie. But he was getting back at them with the comments. I loved it.
Mr. T. Don't
So
get that sucker.
Yeah.
He said, don't get that sucker no statue.
Yep.
Give him guts. Beat the shit out of him.
So Sylvester Stallone was being fair. I don't know if Mr. T must have had a conversation with him and said, you know, look, I can't play this part if you're gonna make me look like a punk, because you know Mr. T wasn't no punk. He wasn't no punk. So he had some really good roles in his life, and he always played a strong black man. So yeah, they, you know, Sylvester Stallone had to take it down a little bit if he wanted Mr. T in it. But that whole thing, we analyzed that whole Rocky thing. And then he met his match, the Russian. See how that go?
Right.
See how that go? That dude was like, no, we're gonna beat him in this movie, Sylvester. Then the next one, then you gonna beat him in the next one. This one, forget it. You know, get him in the next one.
Right.
But you ain't gonna make it like it's easy to take one of us out.
We're supposed to be modeled after Rocky Marciano. And that's supposed to be Joe Louis.
Mm-hmm.
But his fighting style is Muhammad Ali.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you said that. You brought that out, yeah.
Yeah. His fighting style is Muhammad Ali. And Muhammad Ali shit ran up on the podium and said, you owe me some money to who they call Sly. Better pay attention to that
Right,
shit.
right, right.
Call him Sly.
He's very
Since you
sly.
owe me money. And you'll have people look, I'm telling you, like, look, we will find a fucking hero out of any fucking crackpot. He was always good with us, you know, he never misrepresented us. Like, what? You didn't see a superhero die? And then he gave him a child that wasn't even a child from his wife. He gave him a bastard for his legacy. This is what Creed is. A bastard. So, like, this is supposed to be okay. I guess that's too much analysis. I love the movies, but I'm not fooled.
Right.
I love the movies, but I'm not fooled.
That I Live in America thing. What do you think about that?
With James Brown?
Yeah, he came out. Yeah, Apollo Creed came. I mean, had this big old show with the
Right.
American flag. You know what I'm saying?
He got to be Christmas addicts.
Who's more patriotic than the black man?
He got to be Christmas addicts. Christmas addicts died, and so did he. This is what it was. Like, this is not it.
Somebody made that point. Who's more patriotic than? But we got to make sure we understand what these words mean. Patriotic, but just in normal terms.
Well, patriotic versus patriot. That's
right.
The difference.
Right. There's a difference. Right. So we got to be careful. Like, people understand it differently when you say patriotic. But that's what they were saying. They were trying to make a point. Who's more patriotic than the black man?
Right.
I take that like a damn insult. But
he came out to real live James Brown out there.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Right. Like, look. Rocky could have Negroes entertain you, okay, but you will not be victorious. From part one, he had those brothers around the trash bin fire.
Yep.
You know, with the a cappella singing quartet type of vibe.
That's right.
And he had all of that. He had Gloria Gaynor. He had Gloria Gaynor. You understand? Like, look, he had all of the right ingredients, but you will not be victorious.
Right.
All the way to Antonio Tarver beat his ass in one of those Rockies. I think it was the last one, but they had to do like Don King.
Right.
With Tommy Morrison, Hit Me and I Sue. Look, all of that shit. They ain't leave nothing out. They ain't leave nothing out at all.
Yep.
So even with the Creed one, and I love the Creed series, both of the movies. There was some stuff that was inserted there on purpose. He couldn't win with the black man. You look at part 2.
Right.
He couldn't win with the son of the father who made Apollo Creed a champion and made Rocky victorious over the Russian.
Right.
And Mr. T.
Right.
After Mr. T beat his fucking ass.
Right. Yeah.
So this black man trains him and teaches him. So the black man can teach him how to beat another black man, but this black man couldn't beat the white man. Or the Asiatic, depending on who you're talking to, because Russians ain't from Europe, they're from Asia. So they were like, oh, he didn't come out with that red, he came out with maroon. You know, they'll play with you as long as you want to play. They'll play with you as long as you want to play. But he comes out like that, juiced up. And when I seen that fight with Deontay Wilder and that cracker that they carried to the ring, I said, oh shit, they Ivan Drago'd this motherfucker. They carried him to the ring. He didn't even walk out. Ivan Drago walked out. They carried this dude. Ghost Ray said, I don't walk, I get carried. You know, I was like, oh, he walked down that hall of justice with all that ancestral spirit. I'm like, his walk don't match his face. His face looked like the fix was already in. And just like Rocky 3, with Rocky versus not Mr. T, but Hulk Hogan, it was supposed to be an exhibition fight. And he kills him.
Yep.
So, you know, all that shit kind of goes together in regards to that. And he's supposed to be Italian stallion. This was the Italian mic that was supposed to be used over Ethiopia. You start looking at that shit too. You don't ask nothing out of history. And the Cold War that's going on paper between U.S. and USSR. That's what it was back in the day. It wasn't just Russia. They called that shit USSR. So the U.S. versus USSR. And that movie Red Dawn came out.
I hear you. Go ahead.
Sly. Well, I was just talking that little shit. You know, that was it.
Yeah.
That was Sly. Sly is the Italian from Sugar Hill that Ray Nathan comes back in and shoots. He said, that's for never calling me nigga. He comes in and he kills that old man. The Italian stallion gets trained by the Irish. But before he's the Italian stallion.
That's Mickey?
Yes, he's Mick.
Yeah, the Irish were the better boxers. Yeah. Than Italians.
He's the Mick. Right? His name's Mickey.
Yeah, it was Mickey, right.
Right. Like the worst shit you could call an Irish. Mick. He works for the Italian mob as a actor. One day we're going to that. I'm not going to give all that attention like that. That shit, it speaks volumes, though, in regards to that. It speaks volumes. But rest in peace to Yusuf Hawkins. Love and honor to his family. Death to all of his enemies and their families, all of those bastards who got together. Fuck them and all their descendants. Fuck the police for covering it up. And fuck the journalists for creating conflicting stories. All of them deserve death.
That fool will be home soon. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Wasn't supposed to make it to trial. Wasn't supposed to make it to court. Wasn't supposed to be able to be in jail. Wasn't supposed to make it in jail.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's right.
Right. So we done. Unless you have something else to say. to the world
No,
before
I'm
they
good.
cut me off again.
No, I'm good. We touched on everything, I think.
All right. Well, before we go, let me play something from Dr. Khaled, and then we out of here.
Okay.
Hopefully it works. If it don't work, when I come back, it's a wrap. So.
Hopefully.
How many of you want to see the black family back together? Black man back with his black woman. There is no woman like the black woman, black man. No woman like the black. Talk to Judy and handle your own woman. This black woman is the best. This black woman is the one. Saying on the front row. That's that black woman. Mother of civilization. Oh, black man, we've been blessed. You leave Susie Ron Wickle alone. Give me a black goddess sister. I can't resist her. No blonde hair, blue-eyed, pale skin, buttermilk complexion, recessive, depressive, straight up but straight down, Miss 6 o'clock, no frills, no frills, euthanoid, Caucasoid, subject to have the itch, like cave bitch. Now for me, give me the black woman, give me the black woman. This black woman. Sisters, when you hear that they don't let white women in the house, you should raise holy hell. Keep them bitches out of here. Give a damn how long dress is. Her wickedness is longer than her dress. Give me the black woman. The black woman, black man, that's the precious divine gift to us. She keeps us warm in the wintertime. She keeps all year round.
What else am I supposed to say?
What'd you say?
I said, what else am I supposed to say? That's it.
Oh,
I don't know if it played on my end, on your end or not, but
it played. Yeah, I heard it on my end.
Okay. Okay. Mm-mm.
So that's
It's a wrap. What else? What you want to say after that? You know what I'm saying? Just make it clap.
oh gosh. That's it.
That's it.
All right. Shalom then.